No deal or no Brexit? If you could just answer that. It's come through on several messages. If you could just answer that.
Well, from my point of view, there is no question. Personally, there's no question of no Brexit because the government needs to deliver on what people voted for in the referendum in 2016. So, as far as I'm concerned, the UK is leaving the EU on the 29th of March 2019. But people will have heard, if they look at what's happened in Parliament, they'll have heard there are voices in Parliament that actually want to frustrate Brexit and want to stop Brexit.
I have to paraphrase this because I have to get to Heather. Heather being very patient. It's no deal. It's not no Brexit.
I believe this is the right deal for the UK.
But Plan B.
And my job is to deliver Brexit for the country because that's what people voted for.
Heather in Devon, welcome to the programme. You're through to the Prime Minister. What is your question?
Oh, hello. Yes, having ignored the public for over 2 years, how can we trust you now, is what I would like to know.
Well, Heather, I'm very sorry that you think that we haven't been listening to the public over the last 2 years. I mean, what I have been, obviously the first thing to listen to is the vote that took place in the referendum in 2016. And I recognise that that was a 52%, 48% vote in terms of Leave versus Remain. But I think Parliament had said to the public, we want you to make this choice, and people chose to leave. And I think it's right in terms of trust in politics that we do deliver on that. But what I've been working to do is to deliver on that vote, but to do it in a way that does deliver a better future for everybody. So does recognise some of the concerns that people who voted to remain had about our future and protects jobs.
Heather?
Thank you.
There you go. You've answered that question. Let's bring in Brendan. Let's get more people on the air. He's in Hartlepool. Brendan, what would you like to say to the Prime Minister? What was your question?
Good afternoon, Prime Minister.
Afternoon, Brendan.
It's the 39 billion quid we're going to send over to the EU. Is that figure final, or can it go up? Because I read some reports saying that if we go over the 21-month transition period, they might ask for another 10 billion. So that's the first question. Is the 39 billion the total amount we're going to pay? And the other question I'd like to ask is, how actually are we going to pay the 39 billion? In one go, or are we going to pay it over a few years? Or because the reason for asking that one is we don't know what type of deal we're going to get from them, because are we going to start negotiating after the 31st of March?
Okay,
and if
Brendan.
if we pay the money over, we haven't got anything to negotiate with, have we?
Two questions there.
Yes. First of all, Brendan, the 39 billion is what's been agreed between us and the European Commission. This was a discussion, a negotiation about what we legally owe the EU when we leave. And you may have seen at the time we started these negotiations, people were talking about 100 billion. Actually, we negotiated it down to 39 billion. The question about whether or not it's any more, the part of this, of course, enables us, there's legal obligations we've got, but also part of this money enables us to have what's called the implementation period or transition period, which means there isn't a cliff edge for business. This is about protecting jobs in the UK as we leave the EU. You asked about whether it would be paid in one go, and some of it is to be paid up front and some of it is to be paid over a period of time. So it isn't just one lump sum of 39 billion that is paid over to the European Union. Now, the other question you asked was if we extended that transition or implementation period, would that entail paying some more? Now, the circumstances in which there's been all the discussion of extending that implementation period is if we haven't got our future partnership with them, our future relationship in place at end December 2020.